The meteorite screamed across the night sky, a streak of molten orange splitting the darkness before vanishing behind the tree line. Jake Carter barely glanced up from his campfire. Another shooting star, nothing unusual. He poked at the flames with a stick, the crackling embers casting flickering shadows across his face. 3 days in the woods, and he still hadn't found what he was looking for. The rumors had led him here, a black site research facility buried deep in the Pacific Northwest, where NexCorp was supposedly testing something unnatural, something illegal. Jake exhaled sharply, rubbing his temples. Asterisk great. Chasing conspiracy theories again. Asterisk. A distant thud echoed through the trees. His head snapped up. Too heavy for an animal. Too deliberate. Jake was on his feet in an instant, his military instincts kicking in. He grabbed his flashlight and pistol, moving silently toward the sound. The forest was eerily still, as if holding its breath. Then he saw it. A crater. Fresh. Steam curled from the impact site, and at its center lay a jagged, obsidian-black mass, slick, pulsing faintly, like a living oil spill. Jake's breath hitched. Not a meteorite. He crouched, reaching out. The black mass surged toward him. A whip-like tendril lashed around his wrist. Cold. Alive. Jake recoiled, but it was too late. The substance slithered up his arm, spreading like liquid shadow. Pain seared through his nerves, white-hot and electric. He gasped, clawing at his skin, but the thing melted into him, burrowing beneath flesh. A voice, no, not a voice, a presence, boomed inside his skull. Host. Jake's vision blurred. His knees buckled. The world spun as something alien and ancient rifled through his mind like pages in a book. Memories flashed. Boot camp, war zones, late-night investigations. All laid bare before this thing. Weak. Fragile. Asterisk, asterisk, the voice dripped with disdain. But you will suffice. Jake gritted his teeth. Get out of my head. No. Pressure built behind his eyes. His muscles locked. The symbiote was rewriting him, cell by cell, threading itself into his biology. Then, resistance. Jake's hands clenched. His heartbeat roared in his ears. He wasn't some lab rat to be controlled. He'd survived firefights, interrogations, betrayal. He refused to be erased. What is this? The symbiote recoiled, startled. No host had ever fought back before. Jake grinned through the pain. That's human stubbornness, asshole. The struggle turned inward, a war of wills. The symbiote pushed. Jake pushed back. His body convulsed, veins bulging black beneath his skin. His left eye darkened, the pupil elongating into a predator's slit. Then, equilibrium. Panting, Jake stumbled toward a nearby stream and dropped to his knees. The moonlit water reflected his face, half human, half monster. One side was still him, short brown hair, beard, a scar above his eyebrow. The other side was something else entirely, glossy black flesh, a jagged maw of razor teeth, a crimson eye burning with alien intelligence. The symbiote, asterisk vex asterisk, it whispered, hissed in frustration. You are different, asterisk asterisk. Jake touched his transformed face. The texture was cold, inhuman, yet he still felt like himself. Guess you picked the wrong host, he muttered. A twig snapped in the distance. Jake spun, senses hyper-alert. Footsteps. Voices. NexCorp's cleanup crew, no doubt. Vex bristled. Danger. For the first time, they agreed. Jake flexed his hands, watching as black tendrils coiled around his fingers. He didn't understand this thing inside him. Didn't trust it. But survival? That he knew. All right, Vex, he whispered. Let's see what we can do. Jake's breath fogged in the cold night air as he pressed himself against a tree, listening. The mercenaries' voices cut through the forest like knives. Crisp, professional, hunting. Asterisk, thermal signature was here. Spread out. Asterisk, Vex writhed beneath his skin, a coiled storm of alien instincts. Kill them. Jake clenched his jaw. No, they are threats, and we don't murder people just because they're in our way. Pathetic. Vex's voice dripped with disdain. You limit yourself with weakness. A flashlight beam swept past Jake's hiding spot. He held still, counting heartbeats. 3 men, armed with more than just bullets. One carried a canister labeled NexCorp biocontainment. They came prepared for you, Jake thought. Vex hissed. They will cage US. Jake's fingers flexed, black tendrils slithering over his knuckles. He didn't need Vex warning. He'd seen what NexCorp did to assets. His last investigation proved that much. The nearest mercenary stepped closer, rifle raised. Jake moved. Vex surged through his muscles, propelling him forward faster than humanly possible. He slammed into the mercenary, knocking the rifle aside, but instead of tearing into flesh like Vex urged, Jake twisted, driving his elbow into the man's temple. The mercenary crumpled. "Why hold back?" Vex snarled. "Because I'm not a damn animal," Jake muttered, snatching the rifle. The other 2 mercenaries opened fire. Bullets shredded bark where Jake had been standing, but he was already gone, vaulting over a fallen log with Vex-enhanced agility. "Let me take control." "Not happening. You will die." Jake grinned. "Bet." He lunged again, this time using Vex strength to rip the biocanister from the second mercenary's grip. The man's eyes widened as Jake crushed the device in one black-sheathed hand, spewing containment foam uselessly onto the dirt. The last mercenary backed away, shouting into his comms. "Subject is hostile. Requesting." Jake was on him before he finished, pinning him against a tree. "Who sent you?" The mercenary spat. "You're dead either way. That thing inside you? NexCorp's been tracking it for years." Vex recoiled. "Tracking?" Jake's grip tightened. "Explain." A smirk. "You're not the first host. Just the first one that didn't die screaming." The words hit like a gut punch. Vex went eerily silent. Then, tires screeched in the distance. "Reinforcements." Jake cursed, dropping the mercenary and sprinting deeper into the woods. Vex's presence churned inside him, no longer just angry. Unsettled. They didn't stop running until dawn. Jake collapsed against a rocky outcrop, sweat and alien ichor mingling on his skin. His right arm was still half-transformed, fingers ending in jagged claws. "All right," he panted. "Talk. What did that guy mean? Tracking you?" Vex's reply was uncharacteristically hesitant. "My kind crashed here long ago. NexCorp found US. Experimented. ***. Jake's stomach turned. And the other hosts? Too weak. Their minds broke. Their bodies. Rejected US. A cold realization settled over Jake. That's why Vex had been so surprised when he resisted. Why it kept calling humans fragile. "You thought we all were." Vex didn't answer. Jake exhaled sharply, staring at his half-monstrous reflection in a rain puddle. "Guess you owe me an apology." "Perhaps." A pause. Then, grudgingly, "You are not like the others. ***. Jake barked a laugh. "Damn right." The admission changed something. The tension between them eased, just slightly. Vex flexed under his skin, testing. "If we are to survive, we must work together." Jake raised an eyebrow. "No more let me eat their spines." "No promises." "Fair enough." Jake pushed himself up, rolling his shoulders. "First step, we find out what NexCorp really wants with you." Vex's presence curled, intrigued. "And then?" Jake grinned. "Then we burn it all down." In the distance, a helicopter thundered across the sky, hunting them. But for the first time, Jake and Vex were hunting back. The safe house stank of mildew and bad decisions. Jake kicked aside a ratty blanket and plugged the stolen NexCorp drive into his laptop. The screen flickered to life, bathing his half-transformed face in blue light. Vex coiled under his skin like a restless snake. "Hurry. Working on it," Jake muttered, fingers flying over the keys. The encryption was military-grade, but NexCorp's arrogance had left a backdoor, their logo as the password. Files exploded across the screen. * Project Chimera. Subject logs. Terminal harvest protocols. *. Jake's stomach twisted as he clicked through footage of lab cages, of human test subjects convulsing as black tendrils consumed them from within. None survived more than 48 hours. They used USAS weapons. Vex growled. "Yeah, and when you burned out the hosts." Jake zoomed in on a schematic. "They started breeding you." The screen showed vats of synthetic symbiote slurry, pale imitations, unstable without a living core. Vex recoiled in disgust. Abominations. A new file loaded. Jake froze. Asterisk subject 0. Successful integration. Host, Dr. Elena Voss. Asterisk. The video showed a woman with silver-streaked hair, her arms sheathed in gleaming black tendrils. She smiled at the camera. Asterisk. The key is symbiosis, not domination. We're evolving together. Asterisk. Then, gunfire off camera. The video cut to static. Jane's pulse pounded. She survived. Find her. Jake was already moving, stuffing the laptop into his bag. NexCorp killed her research. Probably killed her too. But if she figured out how to bond without burning out. A shadow passed the boarded-up window. Too quiet for police. Too precise for strays. Jake dove sideways as the wall exploded inward. Smoke grenades rolled across the floor. Masked operatives stormed through the breach, rifles scanning. And no escape, Vex snarled. Fight! Jake bared his teeth. Finally something we agree on. He let go. Vex erupted across his body in a wave of liquid armor. Jake's vision sharpened. Every heartbeat in the room, every twitch of a trigger finger mapped in perfect clarity. He moved. A tendril lashed out, disarming the lead operative. Jake followed through with a spin kick to the chest, sending the man crashing into his squad. More, Vex thrummed, drunk on violence. Jake wrestled back control. We need one alive. He lunged for the smallest operative, pinning her against the wall. Vex's claws pricked her throat. Where's Dr. Voss? Jake demanded. The operative spat blood. Dead. Like you'll be in. A dart punched into Jake's shoulder. Neurotoxin. His knees buckled. Vex shrieked as the world tilted. Poison. Weakness. Must flee. Asterisk asterisk. Jake's vision tunneled. He barely registered smashing through the back window, barely felt the impact of the alley below. Run. Just run. The city blurred around him. Vex burned through the toxin, but too slowly. Footsteps echoed behind them. A hand yanked Jake into a doorway. Shut up and follow, hissed a voice. Dr. Elena Voss, very much alive, pressed a scalpel to Vex's pulsating chest. Or I'll cut him out of you myself. The scalpel gleamed in the dim light of the underground lab, its edge hovering over Jake's heaving chest. Vex bristled beneath his skin, ready to lash out, until Dr. Voss lowered the blade with a tired sigh. Relax. If I wanted you dead, I'd have let NexCorp's neurotoxin do the job. Jake coughed, his vision still swimming. You're supposed to be a corpse in a lab report. Voss smirked, tossing him a vial of antidote. Corpses don't charge you for medical care. Drink that before your pet parasite burns out your liver fighting the toxin. Vex recoiled. I am no pet. Jake downed the vial, grimacing at the taste of rotten cherries. Almost instantly, the fog in his head cleared. He took in the cluttered basement lab, weapons blueprints mingling with crayon drawings, a child's backpack in the corner. You've got a kid, he realized. Voss's face hardened. Had. NexCorp took her when they raised my lab. She tapped a photo on the wall. A grinning girl, no older than 8, with silver streaks in her hair like her mother's. They're trying to replicate our bond, to mass-produce soldiers. Jake's stomach turned. Using children as hosts. Vex surged forward, forming a snarling mouth on Jake's shoulder. Where are they keeping them? Voss didn't flinch. The Chimera facility. Underground. She pulled up a holographic schematic, a massive complex beneath NexCorp's HQ. They're prepping the first batch for deployment in 48 hours. Jake studied the schematics, his mind racing. We hit them now. Free the kids, burn the research. Voss shook her head. You'll never get close. Not without. Distraction, Jake finished. A slow grin spread across his face. Good thing we got the ultimate bogeyman. Vex pulsed with understanding. You want them to hunt US. Damn right. We let them corner us on the west side. When their forces mobilize. Voss's eyes lit up. I slip in through the maintenance tunnels. She tossed Jake an earpiece. Try not to die before I reach the kids. Nightfall painted the city in neon and shadows. Jake stood atop a derelict parking garage, Vex fully unleashed. A towering monstrosity of teeth and tendrils, screaming a challenge into the night. NexCorp took the bait. Black vans swarmed the streets. Drones buzzed overhead. A synthesized voice boomed. Asterisk, surrender the specimen, and you'll live. Asterisk. Jake laughed. Come and take it. Chaos erupted. Vex became a whirlwind of violence. But this time, Jake steered their fury, disabling, not killing. He shattered kneecaps with precision strikes, used tendrils to yank weapons away, always moving, always drawing the swarm further from the real target. They keep coming, Vex growled as a fresh wave of armored troops rappelled down. Jake grinned through the pain of a grazed bullet wound. Then we're doing our job. Static crackled in his earpiece. Voss's voice. Asterisk, I'm in. The children are, oh God. Asterisk. A child scream pierced the comms. Jake's blood went cold. Voss's transmission cut to the sound of shattering glass. Then a new voice, slick and familiar, filled the line. Asterisk, Mr. Carter. How kind of you to deliver both specimens. Asterisk. The CEO. Vex howled with rage. They have them. Jake didn't hesitate. He leapt off the building, tendrils latching onto passing drones to swing toward NexCorp HQ. Change of plans, he snarled. We're going through the front door.